Okay, so let's say that I am working in InDesign and I want to add more pages. I want this to be a multi-page document. So I have page one right here, and what I'm going to do, and just so everyone can see it, is I'm going to open up the pages. We also have this idea of the page transitions. There's a lot of different fun things in there, but we're going to start with the pages. Now, if you don't see pages, this is just another window that floats in InDesign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on down here and I'm going to add my page. I'm going to add page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, and page 6. Okay, so I have 6 pages. 1, 2. Okay, great. So I'm going to come to page 2. And here I am on page 1. I could just double click to go to that page. Now, what we're doing here is we're creating a interactive document. And what I want to do is I want to have on each page a set of buttons that I can click, and I'll put those on each page, and then I can go to yet another page. I'm going to start right on page 2. And I'm going to make these buttons. I'm going to make these buttons starting on page 2. Let's take a look at buttons. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin with this rectangular tool. I'm going to apply a fill on this. Okay, all right, so let's see. So I'm going to draw my first button. Okay. Now, as I work with this button too, I can come on in and define the edge a little bit more. Maybe I'll make it rounded so it feels a little bit more like a button. Now, what I can do with this image right in here too is I can copy it and paste it. Copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put 5 of these. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I have 6. Okay, I did that one extra time. All right, so I'm going to delete one of these guys. And again, I can work with this and really get it to line up perfectly however I would like it to do. If I wanted to, change the size of these, I could do that too. Say I wanted to make them a little bit smaller. Bring them in a little bit more. Okay, I just selected all of them in order to do that. Bring them up to the top, and I'm going to click off. Great. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to add a little bit of text to these guys, and I'm going to click right in here. Okay, now again, we can come on in and we can work with how this is aligned within this shape. Okay, I can even come in and select the font. In my first page, I worked with plant letters. Okay, so you can really find different fonts, and font really, we can say, says quite a bit about a project. Without a doubt, it does. All right, so again, I want to center this a little bit more. Let's see. Delete, 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 return. Okay, and again, we can come on in with the character and play around with this a little bit more. All right, I can come on in to my next one and continue to work. Now, what I may want to do is actually select this and make another character. So come to my type, open up my character window, come to type and open up my character styles, which is, here it is, right here. And maybe what I want to do is select and name this one these are my buttons, okay? So now when I come on into my next one, okay, I want to click on that and I'm going to center it within this shape. and return. Excellent. I had all this funky stuff in here. I'm gonna work with this one a little bit more, maybe even bring this down a little bit more. We come on in to our next one, line shape value. Same thing, I'm coming in, I'm centering it, I'm hitting return. Okay, coming on into our next one, line shape value, color. Same thing, I'm going to center it, hit return, line shape value, color, and my last one is texture. So what I have here are the elements of design. All right, I'm going to actually redo line because I'm not so wild about the different fancy things that I put on here. Okay, so I can highlight it. I want to apply this style, and then what I did was I hit return. Okay, there we go. All right, so I have all of these little different buttons. Well, actually, they're not buttons yet. I have shapes with the words on them. Now I want to make them into my buttons. And what I could do actually, this page right here, I'm just going to put a little box and so we know what it is. Actually, better yet, we'll just grab the type tool and just for the heck of it, we're just going to write, this is my line page, and we have the plant letters, and we can delete these, right? Shape, texture, and who knows, I should go back and see, what order did I put these in? Line, shape, value, color, texture. So we have line, shape, value, color. We're going to come down to this one and we're going to type in texture. Okay, we're going to come back on up to here. These are my different pages. Now again, we'll end up deleting this. We just want to make sure that we can make this work. So we come to this image right here. We're going to select, we're going to shift click. We want to select the whole thing, okay? And then what we want to do is we want to come on up here. We want to open up our buttons. Buttons, buttons, buttons. Here's my button right here. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to close that up. We want to convert this object to a button. Excellent. And you know what? Let's give it a name. We can name it line. Now, what we could do too is we could come on over in here and we could say on the rollover, and we could add an effect if we'd like to. On rollover, control click, right click, I'm going to add a drop shadow. Dun, 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 and I'll say okay. I'm just going to do it on the rollover, and I'm going to name this one line. Excellent. Okay, and now what I want to say, let's add my action. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to name this. I thought I just did, but why not? I'll name it again. Line. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to say on click, I want it to do something, and I want it to go to page, and I want it to go to page 2. Okay, excellent. Click on this. There it is. When it's clicked, it goes to page 2. I'm going to click on my shape button. Okay, we have the whole thing selected. Again, we're going to convert it to a button. Okay, I'm going to come on into my rollover. I'm going to add an effect, which is a right click or a control click on the Mac. I'm going to effect, and you can really do anything. I'm going to add a drop shadow and say okay. And I'm going to name this one shape. And again, I'm going to say on click. And the action that I'm going to add is go to page. And this one will be go to page 3. Great. I'm going to come to my next one. I'm going to do the same thing. I think you probably have the understanding now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pause my video, finish doing these, but let's just go through one more thing. So we say drop shadow. Again, the possibilities are endless, right? You could change the color of the font. You could do so many different things. And let's see. Looks like I didn't do something right though. Right, hold on. See, I'm talking and I'm losing track of what I'm doing. Okay, so one more time. I'm going to come right here. First thing I need to do is I need to convert it to a button. I don't think I did that. Excellent. Now I'm going to come on into my rollover state, and then I control click, and I'm going to add a drop shadow. Voila. Okay. All right, so then I just want to talk to you one more minute about the buttons. This is going to be value, and again, it's going to be on click. Now we can just look at these actions, and you could also make an SWF file. Let's just talk about this for a minute. An SWF file needs the Flash player in order to play it. You're going to find that with the SWF files in InDesign CS5, you have options for a lot more interactivity. And some of these things were added. Some of them are in CS4, but a lot of them were added in CS5. But what we can see is that if you were doing an interactive PDF, you could only work with PDF, only these in here. Now this section up in here is all for, you can use an interactive PDF too. So we have really two different options, an interactive PDF and SWF files. Okay, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to finish out the buttons and then I will restart it. And what's great is I can review that I have things working the way I want. And if I click on them, I can see that the name of them changes. This one is named line, and my action, it's going to go to page 2 upon click. I come to this one, it's named shape. Upon click, go to page 3. This one value, go to page 4. This one color, go to page 5. This one texture, go to page 6. All right, so what I want to do right now is there's a bunch of different ways to do this, but let's just keep it simple. Because right now I have these all on page 2, but they're not on page 3, on page 4, on page 5, or page 6. So let's do this. Let's come back to page 2, and let's shift, click. Let's edit, copy. Let's go to page 3 and let's edit, let's paste in place. Voila. Okay, let's go to page 4 and again, let's paste in place. Now this works especially because it's a smaller document. Paste in place. And we'll go edit, paste in place. All right, looks like we have all of our pages done. Let's actually export our file and take a look. So we come to export, and again we want to export it as an SWF file. We're going to hit save, and we're going to keep this all as it is. It's going to generate an HTML file. So what we find is that when we put things up on the web, we take our SWF files and most times we embed them within HTML files, but we're not going to worry about that too much for right now. We're going to click, we're going to hit OK. This first interactive page I did in video 1. I know what I want to do too is when I come back up, here's my page turn. We can add page turns too if we'd like. We'll take a look at adding those page transitions in a minute. Okay, but what I wanted to do was enter, so I can hit, here's line, click here, shape, value, color, texture. So all of my buttons are working here. And there we have it. Now what I can start to do is go back in and add my other stuff. So this is a multi-page document too, and we can see that, and I'll have a video too on adding page transitions and page turns. But we can use these buttons and center these buttons on our pages to move throughout our document. So thanks for listening.